Well, good evening, everybody, and I welcome everyone. Uh, I don't know about you, but August has been a hectic month. You got little things like our 39th wedding anniversary. Sue took me out of town for a couple of days and spoiled me, so it was wonderful. Birthdays, it's our son, our only son that's home now. It's his 19th birthday today, so right after the Zoom meeting, we're going to go to dinner and celebrate that. But I think he started celebrating about a whole 5 or 6 days ago, and I think someday it's going to be over. I'm not sure what
It's
day.
the point where they'd rather be with friends.
Yeah, but he is going to have dinner with us. So
yes, yes, that's sweet of him.
Anyway, a lot's going on. Sometimes we got to be careful because we can be very busy doing busy work and maybe find ourselves not moving forward. So I want to caution you. One, I'd rather you be doing something than nothing, because it's real easy, as we've shared. And again, for you new people, this Zoom meeting is a little different than some. We're not so much interested in taking a subject matter and beating it to death, but we do want to put little nuggets out there, something you can grab onto and use during the week. We do want to be able to hear from you what's going on. We say try to keep it positive. Not that we're not here to answer questions and stuff. And I do have a few things I want to talk about tonight. But before we get going, has anyone got something exciting to say that's happened this week to them, or a burning question that they'd like to ask? And we'll start it off that way, because sometimes we get going here, we get to the end of the meeting and we run out of time, because we keep these to 30 minutes because we know your time is very, very valuable. So any questions or comments?
Can you hear me, Jack?
Yes, I can.
Okay. This has to do with the upcoming challenge. Are you going to be addressing that this evening at all?
I'm going to be talking about the challenge, and I got some ideas that I think are really wonderful over the meetings from Monday night that I was in. I took notes and give you guys ideas. The challenge, let's not call it, I don't want to call it it's the challenge. It's the 6-week challenge where you actually go into a hotel. That's just a name for it, stuff. But I've got some ideas how that works and stuff. But yeah, we will talk about that, and that's one of my main subjects I want to get into tonight. Any other thing before we get into that?
I have something, Jack.
Okay, Jeffrey.
I hope you can hear me. We're having like a hurricane here in Arizona, so I pulled over so that I could chat for a minute.
I'm coming to Arizona tomorrow. Tell us something
we're going to be
away.
there tomorrow.
Well, it's going to be wet because it's coming down hardcore right now.
Okay. When I get there, it doesn't rain.
Thank you. Right. Bring the sun back.
Okay, go ahead, Jeffrey.
Last week on our call, we were chatting about different things, and I remember Carolyn was talking about some best practices with regard to the new interview guides, if you will. And I had the chance to use the health coach interview guide this week. And one thing that I discovered was really cool, and I kind of wanted to share with everyone. If you haven't had a chance to look over it yet, the first question that it talks about, it says, so for example, I get on the phone with somebody that I don't know at all, and the first question says, so tell me, what matters most to you? Mm-hmm. And both people that I did that with said, well, gosh, what, like with my life or my health or my whatever? And I said, well, gosh, that's a really good question. How about we approach it differently? Why don't we go back and forth? I'll say one and then you say one, and then while I'm discovering about you, you'll learn about me. So for example, I said, okay, what matters most to me? My family. And then they responded, oh yeah, family is really important to me too. Then I'd say, being valued for the work that I do. And then they would say, oh gosh, yeah, in my, whatever, but it spun back and forth. And what was so interesting and that part of the interview probably went for a solid 5 minutes. And we didn't always take each other's ideas after the first couple basic, like family, freedom, peace. Then people started coming up with their own, which then inspired me. So by the end of 5 minutes, I discovered so much about this person that I continued to follow through. And instead of just asking them to talk, it was collaborative. So that was sort of my aha this week of how that tool is just fantastic.
Right. And for some of you coaches may not have that tool yet. The beauty about it, especially if you're on the phone, in fact, I've had coaches, brand new coaches, just set it out and read it, and they think,
yeah.
oh my gosh, and in their mind they think this is so unprofessional, but it leads you down the trail so good. And the thing that I think a lot of us miss, because we got to have that switch in our head, we're thinking lose weight, get healthy, lose weight, get healthy. We are so much more than that, and when that can click on for you, it'll free you as a coach. It'll free you.
Yep.
Because all of a sudden, you're not out there trying to find the person that needs to get healthy or lose weight. You're trying to find the person that needs any part of our trilogy. And that does change your view when you're talking to people. And you're right, this brochure, it just leads you and keeps, especially if you're new or you don't feel confident in yourself, it really gives you the confidence to do it.
And it keeps you on track.
Yes.
Keeps you on track, huh, Jeffrey? To where we don't want.
Oh, it was amazing how it kept me focused. And I'll tell you what, in 3 years, the one person I did it with, I have never met. They were a referral specifically for the business opportunity. And I invited them to Zoom, which I was kind of nervous to, because although I love Zoom, I thought, oh, maybe they don't want to do it. I'll tell you what they said at the end, too. They said, the thing that made this the most enjoyable and makes us trust you, because this is a business of trust, yes, is that we could see your face and you're not just a salesperson. So not only was I on track, on point, and conversational, but it was all about seeing them as well. So it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, very, very good, Jeff. Very good. Anyone else?
Thanks.
Anyone else want to state something? This is the pause that I always get because I wait for people to either get enough nerve or find out to take their thing off of mute. Anybody? Raise your hand. Okay, then we're going to move into some stuff. Doesn't mean we can't come back to you as things get up, but just a little commercial here locally, and any of you people, any coaches that want to come to Vancouver on the 30th of August, we're going to have a TSFL Talks. It's designed right around, if you guys, any of you have ever been to Tim Cox's meetings that he had before he moved to California at the Heathman. We're back at the Heathman. Sue and I and Craig Branchett are putting this on. We got Nancy Pettit. We got top-notch speakers, but we're kind of tailored around, like you said, the TED Talks. We're saying TSFL Talks. And all of our talks are going to be centered around what's actually going on in that speaker's life at that particular month, or what's really been really impactful over the last month. So it's going to be, so that's August 30th, 9 to 12 at the Heathman. It's a Saturday.
And we're going to have the people get more involved.
Yes. We're going to do a new strategy where we're having a strategy where
rather than you sit and just listen.
We're having senior coaches do introductions. We're having different level of people introduce the speakers. We're going to have we just want people to
acknowledge their progress.
Yeah, we want people to know that no matter where you're at in this business, you're important to us.
Yeah,
and that I think introducing someone is the first step to maybe giving your testimony the next time, or who knows, speaking sometime. So anyway, that's the 30th of August. We welcome everybody. We've got a room to seat 200, so the more the merrier. Okay.
Will there be a client presentation time where you present the program?
Actually, it's going to be it's going to be in a TED Talk fashion. We haven't ironed out all that. We are.
I don't mind if there's not. I just want to know if there is, so that people know that they need to invite people.
Yeah. Oh, we want 40% guests, 60% coaches.
Okay.
And we think the impactfulness of it will be that we don't actually have to lay out the plan verbatim. We might do that, but we don't have to, because we think the talks of each individual giving a testimony, stuff like that, will be so impactful. But that in itself, when you get around a bunch of coaches, you want to be involved with them, I think. So.
Yeah, and invite anybody. And
Oh,
everybody.
yes, anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still the same.
It's still, same concept. We want it to be so attractive that a person wants to get on plan or a person really wants the full trilogy and become a coach. So anyway, love to see. I know it's the last weekend before kids go back to school, probably the worst timing, but I think it could be very impactful. 3 hours, really good. Okay?
What's the timing and the cost?
It's $10 for a coach. If it's a coachship, in other words, like Sue and I, would be $15. Guests are all free. If they're guests, they just come free, but coaches pay $10, or it's a couple $15. Okay.
9 to noon.
9 to noon. Get there about 8:30, 8:45. Get registered. Get good seats, and let's just have a wonderful time. Okay. And invite. I think these things are very impactful. We used to do them all the time. We're going to try to get back to having them at least once a month when we don't have a TSFL other thing going on in that month.
And the Heathman's nice. It's nice and localized.
Yeah. So okay. Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up, because how many want to grow their business a little bit bigger than what it is right now? Okay. Yeah, I think we all do. And we could say, and I could tell you, well, just get out there and be more active. Okay, well, we can shut the Zoom off tonight, can't we? Well, that doesn't really, I think part of what we talked about when the trilogy, when you realize you have more to offer than just health, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but then it doesn't matter who you run into, thin, fat, successful, unsuccessful, you have something for everybody to participate. Well, anyway, so last night the leadership call, Dr. A kicked it off of this challenge that's coming up in the middle of September. And you think, well, man, I can't invite people to the challenge now. By middle of September, they'll have forgotten all about it. But I want to lay out some things that you can get ready for the challenge and some things you can do. And I know I'm sitting in a room full of people right now that are very creative and also could have great ideas. Now, some of these things we covered last night on the Miller Zoom meeting, but I wrote them down because I thought, wow, I think what you do is you sit down and you plan all these different strategies when you want to do them, like texting everybody in your phone system, texting everyone and letting them know. And I'm going to read a script that I got from Doug Woods, but this is just to give you an idea of what it says and stuff. But it says, hey, Brent, I'm going to invite you to my health challenge I'm running. I'll be emailing you the link. It's only $20 to buy it, and there's going to be probably $100,000 in prizes in the pool. Let's win this thing. It only goes for 6 weeks, which would be about 42 days, and it starts such and such time. And I just really think it'd be cool. And the nice thing about it, everybody can come into the contest doing what they want to do. Some people think that their way of getting healthy is better, and so, but there's no particular plan that you have to be on or anything. It's just coming in and having a lot of fun and trying to win. So I'm text you, let me know. So you text all those people, and what you do is you simply write that text one time, and then you sit there and copy and send. But you got to know when to about to do that. So I would start doing that the latter part of August, maybe somewhere around the 20th, the 25th of August, start texting. Then all of your email, anybody that replies, you got to have a ledger where you start writing them down, because like Terry Miller said last night, she went on the rampage, and when anyone showed interest, she contacted one person up to 15 times to say, hey, I know you're interested. You said you were, and I know some of you your minds just went right off the charts. I can't call somebody 15 or text somebody 15 times or email, but it's just how bad you and how successful you're going to be. But so then you have an email strategy lined up to where you email all your past clients, all your friends that they love a challenge. And again, we're not saying come and join Take Shape for Life, become a client, and then you can be in the challenge. We're saying, hey, $20, jump in. There's going to be $100,000 in prizes. Wow. Come and join us and do it your way. You don't have to do it. what we found, and I'm telling you, I've seen this. We finished 3 challenges now. You gain these people that get in that are just coming in the contest, going to do it their way, Dolly Parton diet or run themselves to death, and they're going to win. They get in and they see all the success of the people that are actually clients, and they become clients. But the biggest thing I've seen is the coaches. Normally, the Miller organization gets about 100 new coaches a month. During the challenge, they got almost 400 new coaches. That's 4 times what they normally get. That's what happens because we're not having to try to sell somebody on the trilogy. They watch the trilogy in action. So you have a texting campaign. Now, it doesn't start, what is it, the 20th? Can anyone remember the date? I think it was the 20th the challenge starts. It's September 20th, September, somewhere. I can't remember, but right in that 15th to 20th, somewhere there. So you want a texting campaign. You want to, and then you, what was it? 15th. Okay. It's the middle of the month. So you want to start doing this in the latter part of August. Start texting, start sending emails. But another thing is your social media, putting the event on there, inviting people, all these little things. They're all little steps to get people going. I think your old client list is a great tool. But what about this? Why not make a flyer up, go into a business, lay the flyer down and say, hey, and I know this takes a little action, takes a little bravery, takes a getting you out of your comfort zone. But say, hey, we're doing a challenge. Here's the information. Here's my email, phone number. Hey, why don't you girls in the nail salon have a contest amongst yourself? Won't you people in the pizzeria, won't you have a contest? Well, I think they might have to change their way too. But anyway, but you see what I'm saying? You could go into different businesses and actually challenge them to participate in the thing and see if they can beat each other on a percentage of stuff. And all it is because people love contests. I am totally blown away. Every time we've done this, I'm thinking, this has got to lose its steam somewhere, and it just doesn't. Does anyone have any questions on all that stuff that I threw out there to you?
I don't have a question, but today when we were talking about that, between the Stop Challenge Choose and this challenge, that challenge, we decided to call it Meltdown, just in our own little group, only because...
Well, actually, the new name of it is...
Thin it to win it.
Thin to win, yeah. Thin to win challenge, so...
Yeah, thin to win. But eliminating the word challenge for us was helpful to know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's good.
And the 12-week thing, the Stop Challenge and Choose, is an ongoing process to help your clients get grounded in the habits of health and doing the right things. And so 2 different things. Anybody else have any questions on the Thin It to Win It?
I do. I have a question.
Okay, Diana.
Could you tell me what the requirements are? Can any coach host a room in the hotel, or do you have an ED or above?
Thank you, Diana, for that question. Anybody can host a room. Now, we're all going to be in Hotel Miller, and in the hotel, they have hundreds of rooms. They've asked if you think, and I think right now everybody on this call's got the ability to do this. If you think you can get 10 people, then you need your own room, okay? But let's say maybe you've never done one or you don't feel comfortable, that you just come in the club room, or Craig is doing it, come into his room. You can have 40 people in your room. It doesn't matter. The thing about it is if you come into our room, I'm just going to ask one thing: be excited. Be really excited about what we're doing, and keep the thing pumped up. We can tell you can be in a challenge like this and go through the thing of reading your stuff every day, doing your video, doing this, getting your points. That won't get you anywhere other than your own personal growth. Oh, yeah.
If you want to add a Facebook page to it and name it, like Meltdown, for example, Meltdown closed group, then you could keep them motivated by just posting something every day, just a little thought or, just something. Yeah.
Now, in the challenge mechanism, there's a wall there that you can post. That's really good. We didn't have that much. And it's all preference. The whole thing is moving your group forward. But we also had our Facebook stuff because people right now are attracted to Facebook. It was some people said they didn't like the idea of going in every day and racking up their points, and there was no interaction. So basically, you get up in the morning, you read your stuff, you do your little things, then you pop over to a video or pop over to Facebook twice a week, and just say, "Hey, just had my celebration day, lost another 3 pounds, woohoo!" or something like that. We found that keeps the motivation. But again, everyone's welcome on our health club page, or when we get the challenge going, to join us there and keep the excitement going.
Yeah, you can.
And also
I'll take care of that.
And also be in our room. So okay. Any other questions?
Oh, the one thing I wanted to say is we have some of our coaches in our organization join Health Club. That's the name of our page. Please tell me who you are as a coach before you send a name, because a lot of times I don't even know, who they belong to. Okay, so and I don't mind taking care of them at all. So
we don't mind them being on the Facebook. We just
on the Health Club,
and we want to make sure that you, as a coach, if one of your clients or one of your coaches there, that you want them there.
Yeah.
Okay, because you may not want them there for whatever reason. So, and again, activity on this is of texting, email, social media, all those things. When you get some kind of feedback coming back, you've got to write that down, and then you've got to do action. You got to get back. Hey, John, I so appreciate you wanting to join the challenge. Here's the link. Here's the key room. And if you come into our room, you'll have our key to where you pass. Everyone will get a key, and they'll simply come into our room, and we'll try to keep them motivated. And of course, you being in the room there with us, you'll keep our people motivated too. Okay. Mm-hmm. Any more? Okay, I don't want to beat that thing to death. I would say this. Sue and I are going to go on vacation, and one of my little strategies while I'm just sitting around playing with my 3-year-old grandson is I'm going to develop my little message I'm going to text to my friends. I'm going to develop my email, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to strategize in my mind as I'm drinking my coffee and relaxing to when I want to do all this.
Can they get a copy of Doug Wood's his example sheet?
I can.
If some of you want that.
Yeah, I can try to get that to you. So,
okay, Tony, they want that.
Or I can have my wife type it up and email it. Anyway, but the whole thing is that you got to start planning now to be successful in September. Okay.
And our business grew. Every challenge we had, we added clients
and coaches.
Even old clients.
I think the surprising thing is the coach part of it, and so that's and everyone won. Mm-hmm. Everyone won. We, like I said, the challenge before, 2 teams they finished second and third. They won a monetary prize, but I'll tell you what, the big thrill was
$95 was a lot.
But the big thrill is they learned habits, they changed their life, they did well. So
out of 300 teams, right?
There were 30 teams, 300 people.
300 people.
Yeah. One other thing I just want to talk about that I just want to hit briefly, because we are running out of time on our 30 minutes, is sometimes in this business, you have an active spouse and a non-active spouse. Sue and I, when we did this, when we did the weight, we lost our weight. We started getting healthy. I went off all my medications. I dropped 70-something pounds. She dropped 52. It was just a natural thing to pay it forward. And we jumped in. But in fact, I had promised her I wouldn't do any home-based businesses. And she said, this is something we need to do. And so we jumped in with both feet. Okay. That's not always the case. In fact, I would say that's probably not usually. Usually, if you want to know the truth, usually the wife sees it as something they can do from their home, and they jump in and they try to do it. And but I've seen guys too. But basically, then they get this feeling of dragging their spouse along. I'll say this about sometimes this business isn't for both of you. But if the desire's there, then basically you got to find your strengths and weaknesses. There's things that Sue knows that I do, and she could do it if she had to, but she chooses not to do that part of the business. She is probably one of the best health coaches as far as walking people to help that's in the business. But we know our strengths and we work together. If you're a spouse in this business and you truly want to come alongside your spouse and help them, I'm putting out a thing that if you want one-on-one mentoring with me or with Sue, in other words, if you're a woman, you want, or if you're, I'll put this away. I'll do one-on-one. If it's the business thing and you want one-on-one mentoring, I will do that. What I'm going to request, and this is the hard part, is one, you shoot me an email and say, hey, I'm such and such. I'm that spouse you were talking about. And I really desire to come alongside my spouse and help. Okay? Then I'm going to email back at a time where we can actually talk, just a brief talk. And then I'm going to give you homework. And this is the way it works. I give you the homework, and usually it's 1 step or 2 steps. And when you get those done, you call Jack back or you email me or you text me, say, hey, Jack, I finished my homework. And then we correspond, and then I give you more homework. Or I try to sense maybe you have a weakness that you need to get strong. Or maybe you have strengths that your spouse doesn't, so we'll unify that. But we'll work together. And sometimes I've known spouses that have been in the business, they would love for their husband to be more active, or husband or wife to be more active in the business, and it's just not there. It's just not there. And so then you, as a spouse, you have to make the choice if you're going to do this on your own and get support. The nice thing about this business is we're here as a family.
Lots of support.
And we have lots of support.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. It's beautiful when it is, but it doesn't have to be your spouse that helps you grow. And I think sometimes, especially if the pressure's on us, we were trying to reach a goal or trying to grow or trying to get a little bit further in the business, and it's a struggle. And so who are we going to blame? We turn to our spouse and blame them. If you'd be more active in this thing, we'd really grow. Mm-hmm. And the reality of it is we should all have the tools to grow our business with or without our spouse. But the offer's there for you guys. And we'll get to the root of what's going on and stuff. But I just want you guys blessed. I want to someday look at each of your businesses and say, I'm really proud of them. And we have to play a little part in your success. And so that's what we want to do for you. And so with that, any questions or anything?
Great.
Jack, I want to thank you for doing that. That is awesome for you to take your time to do that, because we still work full time.
Yes.
And I know that some of the spouses that we're talking about still work full time. And so I think you're the best person to speak into that. I think it's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I just want to say, I talked to you earlier today, and I've already started working on the things that you've told me to do.
Good.
So I'm just going to have to say, I'm going to go for it, and it's just got to happen.
It's like getting on that cliff, and everyone tells you, oh, you can jump, it'll be fine. Well, sometimes we just got to jump and realize that the water down there is going to be deep enough for us to get, do everything.
Yeah, hit bottom and break our legs.
Yeah, we don't want to do that, so we just got to trust sometimes. I've got a question here. The challenge, more information. Yeah, it'll be coming out soon. I think within the week. They haven't even assigned the hotel rooms there's like 7 or 8 leaders that are going to have hotels. The hotel owners pass out the room keys to the whoever's going to be the name of the room, club room, and then we'll pass out keys for everyone to come into our room. So I like the hotel idea because it really says, everyone gets a key. You can't go in anybody else's room, but you can come in ours. So it's really, but yeah, it should be more. And by all means, sometimes we just have to stop and look and really dig in to get the answers, or just pick up the phone and call your mentor. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you, the challenge is worth working on. Now, right now, you can't do anything, but you can start preparing the people you're going to text, the people you're going to email, what you're going to put on social media. And we have a great artwork that you can put for creating an event and stuff and like that. So yes, question? Yeah, Tony.
Can I just call you? I'm
You
bad on emails.
That's okay. Absolutely. Yeah, I say that, and you guys got to understand. I'm getting ready to take a week's vacation, but I'm also gonna work. I'm not gonna work myself to a frazzle, but I am gonna work. To me, if I work an hour a day, that's a lot of work to take shape. So, figure that's.
Should he just text you then, Jack?
I'll just text you.
Yes.
He just texts you, and then that way you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be in the air tomorrow.
Okay.
Text me, and I'll just set up a time that I can just
maybe like Friday or something.
Well, just in
Before
different
the
times,
party, yeah.
different times and stuff. She's all worried that I'm going to blow the party, but I'm not. Saturday I won't talk to anybody because that's the actual day of the birthday for my little 3-year-old, my grandson. Oh, okay. Anything else? Hey, we love you guys. We want. If you have a question, just come on. But we love you guys. Thanks so much for being who you are. Don't give up. Do a little activity every day. Always move your business forward. It does work, okay?
Yes. Love you too, and you have fun.
Okay. Go ahead, Jen.
I have a little bit of information from what Terry said. The keys are supposed to be to us like the 27th or the 28th of the month.
Yeah. That's why I said you do a lot of preparation now. You can't send anything out because you don't have anything to follow it up with. But you can do a lot of preparation, for that. And I think on the texting part of it, where, hey, buddy, we're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. It starts in the middle of September. Are you in? Those kind of things.
And don't feel bad about mentioning the money prize because actually when I mentioned that is when I got more people to join the challenges.
They don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah.
Take shape. So we're just trying to expose them to the trilogy is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys. And right now we're going to celebrate our son's 19th birthday, and gosh, pretty soon we'll be empty nesters.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, guys.
Happy birthday, Nathan.